Hi guys, welcome to my new channel, YouTube channel, Your Knowledge. Myself Kaushal Nimawat, .NET developer. So I got an idea in this current lockdown. I should spread the knowledge, and for the fresher, it's really important that they know the what is object-oriented programming and the brief about the OOPS concept. We can say the OOPS concept, object-oriented programming language. So if you are the fresher or not a fresher or the senior developer, you should have the idea about object oriented programming, right? So once you have the full knowledge about the OOPS concept, no one can stop you to reach out the high sky. So I thought that I should explain or I should create the video about the OOPS concept because I see so many developers don't know about the OOPS concept in a brief. They know about the description, they know about the theory, but in the real time they are actually using, but they don't know this is the OOPS concept or this is the regularity. So many developers I have seen. So let's just elaborate what is OOPS concept. So in the OOPS concept, there is a points like class, object, private. Class might be a private. That class might be a public. That class might be internal, protected, internal, protected, internal. So we will check out all the different type of the concept of the OOPS. So basically, let me explain what is class. So basically, let's take the example in our school in the education system. Right now in the 2020, there is a education system has been changed. So the suppose we have one class at the school, right? So what will be in the class? So there is a student and there is a teacher, right? There is a two thing might be happen over there, like the student and the teacher. So we can say the space or thing that's whole the member and member function. Like you can say the student as a member and the teacher as a member function. So both, so the class is a thing that's hold the member and member function. So the teacher is a member and we can say the student as a member function, vice versa. And we will check out the class specifiers like private, public, then after internal, protected, and protected internal throughout the demo. So we got the exact idea how we can use it, where we can use it in a real time. Then we will check out the constructor and the destructor. That the special kind of function of the class that's called the automatically, and we can also call them by writing the methods as the same name of the class name. And then after we are going through the virtual override abstract, new and static keyword. You should know about this keyword also, and you might have idea about the what is virtual override abstract and static also, but there is a new keyword there that's actually what is used in our real time. We will discuss in our today's video or demo. You can say this is the fresher training course, and we will also check about the delegates in the next video. So I have just defined here. So let's move forward and open the Visual Studio. We will create one small console application to know about the class, object, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, and how we can use this. Right, so let's just create a new project, create the console application, provide the name OOPS concept. Your knowledge. Okay, so when you just create the one console application, you got this much thing in your solution explorer. You can open the solution explorer from here, the view menu, solution explorer. There is so many window you can utilize by yourself. So let's just think in this video we are going to check out about the class, object, inheritance, abstraction, encapsulation, and polymorphism also. So let's just go through the class object. So class, is the one thing you can say in our language that all the data member and member function. If you read the theory, that theories always says the class is a class that's object oriented programming concept that hold all the data member and member function. We will see what is data member and what is the member function. Let's see, we do have one class, full-time employee. Okay, so when you just create any of the class, that by default gonna be public. I'm sorry, that's by default private. We need to make it public. So what is this public? The public is a specifier. We can write over here public, private, and then internal, and then protected, right? These are the specifier of the class, but by default, if you want to use this class anywhere, we should make it public. So public is a one type of specifier of the class. We can use this class anywhere in our solution. We can say this is the solution, our solution explorer. Okay, let's suppose we do have the two type of employee. We have the one company and there is a two type of employee, full-time employee and part-time employee. So once we hire any employee, we should have the total, the description, or we can say the detail of the employees. Like, let's suppose there might be a one property. This is the specifier or the properties we are going to define here, and this is the string, first name, and get set for the getting this property, and we can set this property by get and set. So this is, we can say this is the data data member. Okay, this is the data member. So press D, control plus D to copy the exact same line as upper line, right? Let me press the control D, it will copy your upper line. Okay, so there might be a name of last name of employee, and if we do have the employee, that's mean the employee have the salary, right? Salary, but this is the full-time employee. So the full-time employee, the always company define annual salary. You will know about the salary and CTC and all the things when you join the company, or if you have already joined, then you have idea about what is CTC and what is annual salary, like that. So these are the data member, we can say, and we can also call them the properties of the class. So let's make one member function of the class, and we are defining all the things in a public, so we can inherit this and we can use it. Get full name. Okay, so what is this full name gonna do is, let me provide the return type. It will return us the full name of employee. So if we have created any method, the method is returning something that's going to be on a string. You can write void if your function is nothing returns, right? So this keyword is used the current instance. We can say you can use by this keyword using in this current class all the properties of that class. Okay, so let the first name provide one space in between the name. We can call this dot last name. Okay, so when you call this function, in our program it will return automatically the full name of the employee. You can see this is, in a light color. So this means you can write this keyword or you can't write, and if you don't write this, it's fine. Let's know about what is last and what is first name over here. Okay, so let me just remove this from over here and let me just keep it here so you can know about. We can use this over here, or we, if we don't want to, then we can. And then after, let me provide the get salary of the employee, and this salary will return us monthly salary. So once we define the annual salary of any employee, so we need to get the monthly salary of that employee each and every month. You can directly define from over here double equal to and the 1,000 or 50 something like that, and we will convert it to the float. You can use the integer double, ready, right? So directly we can assign this property like this, but currently we are not going to assign like this. Okay, there is another way to assign the values over here within the get set brushes, but we'll check it out later. Okay, and what will be the annual salary of this employee's annual salary property we have written already over here. So what will be the monthly property, I'm sorry, what will be the monthly salary? So we can say that this dot annual salary divided by 12. Okay, so this is our monthly salary of this employee, right? So let me just copy this and let me create one more class for the part-time employed quickly. Okay, you can see the default specifier is a private. Let me just copy these things, and this is the part-time. So part-time employee does not have the annual salary because we are hire them for monthly or weekly or hourly. So let's just define to property integer hour hours, and try to copy paste the small things so we can save our time and the total hour. Okay, so let's define hourly pay. How much money will pay we will pay to part-time employee, and how many total hours is filled by the employee. Okay, so get full name will be the same, and the monthly salary might be a different for the part-time. So what it could be, the hourly pay multiplied by the total hours. Okay, so if employee has filled the 1 hour and we are going to pay the 100 for the 1 hour, so this will return 100. Okay, we do have everything created. Let's just going to the, this is the class thing, right? These two have class, and the class hold all the data members and member functions. Okay, so what is object? So object is essential part of the class. We can say the entity, or for using that object we can use the all properties. We can see the data member and member function of any of the appropriate class. So let's just create one class, full-time employees object. We can create object like this, define the name of the class, right? Name of the object, full-time, new keyword. Okay, we can say this is, we have created the object. So using this object you can use all the things of the current class. See, you can use over here the annual salary, the first name, the last name, everything. Before use of this object, let's just provide one employee in this class. We don't have any data right now, so we should have the fill the data. We can use from using the object name, then we can fill the directly. So first name will be Kaushal, last name will be Nimawat. And the annual salary we are going to give the Kaushal Nimawat is 15,000. And when we are just dealing with the tables, we do have one more property, or we always have one more property, that's called ID. That ID can be in a GUID. You will know about what is GUID in the future if you are going to work in any organization, if the organization is working on the GUID. Okay, basically the GUID is 32-bit long string, or we can say the number that's always unique by the SQL. So let's just give me the ID of this employee is 101, and let's create one more object of part-time employee, part-time, copy the name, change the name, ID will be 102. We need comma here. The first name will be Nikhil, and the last name we will use Nimar. Okay, so there is one more property, the hourly pay. How many money will we pay on hour basis? The total hours will be 10. Let's just make it something big number. In the 3,300. Let's get the 3,000. And let me just copy the first property in a part time we haven't defined here. Okay, so we don't get the error. Okay, and let's just print the output first. So this is class and object. Console.writeLine. WriteLine is a function we can use to print out any line. So let's just print the full-time employee name dot get full name. This full name, the function we have used. Okay, and let's just get the monthly salary. Okay, for the full-time employee, and let's do the same for the part-time employee. Okay, and let me just differentiate these two line with one dashed line, so we can read output easily. Okay, for the part-time we need to use the part-time object, and let's check the output. See, the full name is Kaushal Limawat. We have just provide the ID name, first name, last name over here, and the output is the full name, because we have called the full name function over here. That's combine the first name and last name, net salary. Okay, so now the next thing is abstraction. Why we are using abstraction? What is abstraction? So abstraction is one of the object oriented programming concept that help us to show the only essential part to the end client, right? So let's see, let's take an example of the school as it is. As we take that, there is one class. In class there is a student and there is a teacher. When the teacher is come into the class, the teacher have the knowledge, might be knowledge about the English, mathematics, and all other subject. But in that class, the teacher has to be show the only mathematics, because the class, the lecture is actually for the mathematics. Okay, so employee, I'm sorry, so the class, in the class, when the teacher is enter into the class, they will teaching about the mathematics, because the lecture is for mathematics. Okay, the teachers know about the physics also, but they are not going to discuss about the physics, right? So abstraction is a kind of a thing that so the only essential parts to the end user. So there is so many things we are writing in a code, but the some of the things only that need to be shown by the user. So how we can use it? And one more thing in abstraction, that's when we just use the abstract keyword and abstract class, the all the member of that class and the member function of that class, that's you know the used by the abstract keyword, it has to be override, or it has to be written in the child or base class that's come up in the inheritance. So let's check out what is inheritance. So let's suppose, let me just create one a new class. Why we are going to create the new class, you can see over here full-time and part-time base employee. Full-time and part-time class, we do have the common properties like first name, last name, and id, same in a both class. So this is not a good as a creating the class. If I do have to add the one more property over here, like the email or address or something like that, so I need to go through each and every class we have created, same as related to employee. We need to add this property in each class, but that's not the utilized class, we can say. So we are going to create the new base class, and we will put the common property over there. Let me just copy all the thing first. In the base class, first create this class as a public, so we can inherit. So inheritance, so basically inheritance is a thing like one class has a data member and member function. If we use the data member and member function in another class, so we can use the inheritance. So it's kind of a thing like, let's just get the all data member and a function from the other class to the any our new class. You get the idea. Let me just move on. So now we have provide the common property over here. This property is different for the both user, so both employees. So we are going to remove that. And firstly, let me remove the common property from here also. Okay, because we have moved this property to the base class. Okay, so the monthly salary might be different for the both class. So let me just return over here something for now. Okay, and let's make this class as a extra class. Okay, before going to use the abstract class, let me just give you the brief on inheritance. So now I need this id, first name, get full name, and the monthly salary, all the things in my part-time and full-time automatically, because I don't want to write anything over here, right? Because I have just moved over there, right? So this is how follow by the comma and use the class that's created. So that's actually inheritance. We have inherit. You can say this is the base class and this is the derived class. We can say this is the parent class, this is the child class. So basically we are going to take the idea about the child and parent in our world. There is a father and there is a child. So the child got the all the things or all the knowledge that could have to add, you know they father had might be the knowledge. So the child has the knowledge about the father actually know. So that's kind of thing like, this is the father, this is the child. So when the child is already know about what his father is doing, right? What do father have, might be, but that's example we can take. So automatically the all the data member and member function of this class thing going to be virtually, we can say, going to be actually here virtually. Okay, so this is inheritance. We can use the one class, the data member or member function in another class, right? This is the derived class and this is the base class. Okay, so let's check out the output. We have just moved and we have just inherit, and let's get the output. Public and all the properties and the class, full time, bar class, base class. We have used everything. Now we have to remove this because we have already written on the base class. Let's build. Part-time employee doesn't contain id, first name, last name. It should be contained because we have already defined in the part-time but haven't use for the inheritance. Okay, so now error is gone. Let's check out the output. See, the output is also same. There is nothing change. Okay. Okay, so this is inheritance. We can use the old data member function of the one class to the derived class. Okay, so let's move forward to the abstraction, which is used to hide the essential part of the class. Okay, so let's make this class as an abstract, and let's make this method is abstract because the salary is a, you know, essential part of the for the employee. Okay, so this is abstract class, this is the abstract method, and let's go to the full time, and you can see we got one error and it says you should have initialized or implement the abstract member of this base class in the full-time employee class mandatorily, because this is the use of abstract class. If you have defined any method in abstract class as a abstract, you should define that method in a full-time employee or in a derived class. Okay, so let's just make it same to the part-time 2. Okay, now you can see that is gone. Let's check the employee salary cannot declare a body. Yeah, that's a huge thing over here. When you just define any class as abstract, you cannot define the body of that class over here because it is going to be runtime. So the currently the essential part of the calculation of the salary, it's hide when we create the employee based employee class. So you can see only name is defined, there is a nobody over here, so that part is a hide for the base employee. So when you just define the abstract method, you have to override that method from here, and you can just return something from here. Let's suppose the annual salary divide by 12. Okay, and what is going to be in a part time, that hours pay multiply by total hour, and that will be the monthly salary of part time. Let's run it. You can see output is changed. There is a 4166 as per we have the given in a program. There is a 15,000 and it's going to divide by the 12, and there is a 300 cross 10, so it will give you the output 3000 and 4166. So this is how we use the abstract class and abstract method to hide the essential part of the methods over here. We cannot write over here. If you write, then it's going to be error occur, and you can write that body of that method in derived class, so you can use it. So when you just create any third class, let's suppose we are taking the student class, and when you inherit the base employee over there, so you must have to given this method, because this is mandatory for employee. If you do have any employee in our organization, they have the salary. Without salary, no one gonna work. So that's why we are going to use the abstraction and provide the abstract method. So when you are just going to create any class that's depend on the base employee class, because this is the base on the employee. So basically all the data about employee, the ID, first name, last name, the full name, and the monthly salary must be there, because without money no one going to work. Okay, so this is the class, object, and abstraction. Okay, we can you get one more example, like without abstraction we are, how can we do something like this. So when you just remove the abstract class and still you want to inherit, or still you want to use method over here, so want to override this method here, so how can we use the virtual keyword is there. Virtual keyword is we are using for to make this method override. So when we just create any method as a virtual, so that method you can override over here, otherwise you can't override Yeah, let me just, and when you just remove the abstraction, so you should have idea like we need to define a body now over here, because we can't define a body in abstract class, but we can define without abstract keyword. Okay, so this is the 1000. So when we are using this 1000 here, let me just remove for a bit, and let's check the output. You have the same, you have the same result over here. Okay, the full time and the part time. So let me build first. We have removed in a part-time salary, and let's remove in a full-time salary also. Let me just build and run it. You can see, the result is 1000, 1000. How did we get the 1000 from here? So if you have get the full salary of full time and part time both from here, but you can't manage it from here because the full time have my different method and the part time has my different. So if you want to get that, you have to write the two method over here: get full time employee salary, get part time employee salary. But you don't need to do this. We can use only this virtual keyword over here, so you can override that method over here. The override keyword is for the override the method of the base class. So let's going to be put the part-time employee class, and let's just as that is someone total hour. Let's check out the output. You got the output, and in this thing we are what we are learned how we can use the override keyword. This override keyword will override this method of the base class. If you are using virtual over here, if you are not use virtual keyword over here, you will probably got the error because cannot override inherited member of the base class. So you must have provide the virtual keyword over here. So this is the virtual keyword, this is the override keyword. We will go through about, and we already the discuss about the abstract keyword, and there is one more keyword is new keyword, and what is use of that we will check out in the next video, I guess, or in this video also we'll check out this. Okay, so let's we have this is all about the class object abstraction. And in the polymorphism means the one the name, or we can say the one created function that might have the many forms. Like there is one teacher, but teacher can teach the English, physics, that might be teach English, physics and mathematics two, right? But the teacher is only one, but teacher can teach the three language, or you can see the three subject. So that's the thing of the polymorphism. So in the polymorphism there is a two type of functionality: function overloading, overloading, and the function overriding. Okay, we have already discussed about the overriding, right? So what is overriding? We can override the method. We have created one base class, we have created one method that's a virtual, and we have override over here. This is the one part of the function. Let's create the two function over here. In the overriding, the function name must be the same and the parameters also going to be same, but it is slightly different in overloading. When you are just overload any method, let me just give the get name, and let me just create one more function, get name, get full name. The function might be same, will be same, and let's provide one uh, parameter argument, we can say param. So you can see there is a two function with the same name, but parameter is different. So when you got this, let me just change the type of return type of this method. So we got the idea, and let this is function overloading. Okay, and let's just copy this and over here with param, with param. Okay, let's build this and let's just use that thing over here. So let's just remove this output for a bit. Okay, so let's just check the get name. Okay, so right now you can see I'm just calling the same name of the method get name. Okay, but in this method I'm not going to pass anything, but in this method I'm going to pass true or false. It doesn't matter because we haven't handled over here what if the param is going to true or what is param false come from the polling side. Okay, and let's check out the output. You can see this is the function overloading and this is the function overloading with the param. So this is the part of the polymorphism that the function name could be the same and function name will be the same, but it's also work on the parameter, right? And parameter is different. So in a theoretically, you guys always say the function overloading is a functionality that the same name of the function but parameters are different. So what is overriding over here? You guys already know about net overriding. We have defined one base class virtual keyword with the one function and we have override it over here at a part time and a full time. Okay, so this is function overloading and overriding for the polymorphism. And let's just flip out the encapsulation. The encapsulation is thing of your name itself says like there is something like fit in the end capsule in a encapsulation. So the all the things we have defined over here, the class, member, member function, then object, and everything is over here. So we can say this is the encapsulation. Encapsulation basically we can say the space or we can say the area that's hold the everything, the class, object, property, inheritance, interface, and something like that. Everything we are using in MVC or we can say in a .NET. So we can say that's an encapsulation. So we will yeah, now we should have the idea about the class, object, inheritance, abstraction. So let me just give you the small brief. The class is that concept that hold the data member and all the member function for the theoretical. Object is the entity object class. We can use all data member and a member function of the class by that object name. Inheritance, it's kind of thing or it is a feature. It is the concept that you can use the base or base class data member function on the any derived class. That's an inheritance. And in abstraction, it's use the object in programming concept that hide the essential part for the user, or we can use it for the mandatorily define any of the thing in our class itself. Okay, and just know about in the .NET we .NET is not supporting the multiple inheritance. So if you want to inherit the base class here and if you want to inherit the part-time part-time employee here, so you can't use it because this is not functionality of the .NET. Okay, so cannot have the multiple base class stuff. Okay, this is so what we need if we need to use the part-times all property, right? So this is only first level, right? Only first level. So you got oh, you might have one question like, so what should we do if we use the part-time property in the full-time employee with the base class also? So we can use we can copy all the program member function of the part-time into the base class. We can, that's the first thing we can use that. And if you do not need to copy this. So that's why the .NET, or we can say this, we .NET is provide one functionality or one feature that's called interface. Okay, so interface we are using for achieve this kind of multiple inheritance. Okay, so multi-level inheritance we can use it. We can inherit the base class in a derived class the full-time employee, and we can use these full-time employees a base class in a part-time too, right? But we cannot directly define over here. So this is it for the OOPS concept, and we will check out what is interface, how we can achieve the multiple inheritance using the interface, and why we are using the interface, that we are going to you know uh, brief in a next video. So thank you very much. This is my first video in a YouTube. Your knowledge, this is your knowledge actually. I do have, and I'm just spreading the knowledge. So if you have liked this video, and if you know what is class object interface and abstraction, and you got the idea about this, and you are, if you going to use this theoretical and practical knowledge in your next interviews, then please like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. If you are going to subscribe, we are going to create all the new features of the .NET. In the next video, we are also going to create the new MVC project, whole MVC project. If you don't know about the what is MVC, model view controller thing, we are going to spread that. So please follow us. Don't forget to like. And if you have any question, if you find anything we are missing over here, you can comment in a comment section. And don't forget to subscribe. You can find the red word subscribe in the upper side in our channel. So please click it and open the bell icon. Please click on the bell icon so you will notified when we upload any new video. So this is it, and I want to say lastly, thank you. Okay, let's go. Let's make it into the comments so we don't get the issues and error. Bye. Have a nice day. Thank you. Thank you for watching.